Yo guys, and welcome to my review of episode 52, aka the season 2 premiere of Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush. And I definitely think this season started off very strong. We start with the Yuga phaser kind of foreshadowing, right, of their duel, which we see a little bit later, and we know we're getting the full duel next week. We then go to Velgear, or I guess to space, right, to Yugioh, where they finally conclude the war, and Yugioh tells Yugioh that he should go to Earth, right, that he'll take care of everything else, but that Yugioh should go to Earth and report to Yuhi and Yuomu and everyone else. So Yugioh does that. We see him traveling to space while the opening plays at the insert song, which, by the way, I really like the opening, and if you haven't heard it, I did post it on the channel, so a bit of a plug there. But Yugioh arrives on Earth, where he's met by a fake UTS, which is just MIK agents disguised as everyone from UTS. And we see the debut of Tremolo Ryugu, who is the younger brother of the two, which we found out recently that he is also using a light maximum. So Phaser is going to use the dark maximums, while Tremolo is going to use the light Sea Serpent maximum, which is really cool. We were robbed of the duel between him and Yugioh, but I hope that means we're gonna get that a little bit later. Yuomu comes in using the UTS cipher, which, nice that Yugioh still remembers that. And yeah, Yuomu saves Yugioh, and they go to the alien underground area, and Yuomu explains to Yugioh what's been happening in the last 2 years, where it seems like the Ryugu brothers, very specifically Phaser, ordered the MIK to capture not only all of the aliens in Matsuba, but everyone that has kind of made contact with an alien, which is, literally every character we've met so far. Now, obviously, some of them were able to escape and relocate back underground. There were a few characters missing. We haven't seen Manabu, Nyandstar, and Ranran, although Yugioh did ask the MIK agents what happened to them, and they just didn't want to answer him. They literally just said like that isn't important. So yeah, that's gonna be very fascinating to see what happened with them. But yeah, Yuomu explains the whole situation to Yugioh, saying how everything has basically gone to shit. And then Yugioh sees Yuhi, and as the Mamu said a little bit later, Yuhi has entered his rebellious phase, where he kind of remembers Yugioh, but he doesn't really remember him as fondly. He doesn't even like rush duels, right? Very, pre-pubescent kid. It makes a lot of sense, especially since he, in some ways, needed to grow up fast, right? It's funny how being in the middle of an intergalactic war didn't change him much, but now when his entire town was captured and everything, that changed him a lot. And this is something that we've seen, right, with Yuhi. He has been slowly taking hits and hits, right? We saw the biggest change in that after he lost to Yugioh. So this now is a little bit more, and it seems like it finally has gotten to him. Again, the Mamo's entrance is hilarious, where he just literally shows up and says, "Hey Yugioh, didn't you know that was called a rebellious phase?" I thought that was probably the funniest line of the entire episode. And it seems like the Mamu is kind of used to gather information, and in some ways it's a dumpster diver. He brought a lot of just kind of weird, unnecessary stuff. but he did also bring back a tape with him, and that tape is probably the biggest part of the episode. They played the cassette, and it's the Yugioh phaser duel. Now the tape did cut a little bit since Galliant doesn't know how to play the tape. I guess they needed London to play that, but we know we're going to get that whole duel next week. But we see phaser maximum summon. That's what that was. For anyone wondering, the monster at the end was a maximum, but that wasn't Abyss Poseidra, which is weird. So for those that don't know, we got a commercial about a week or two ago, which had Yugioh and Phaser both showing off maximums, and Phaser in that commercial used Abyss Poseidra, but the monster that was shown in this episode was Abyss Kraken, which, to be fair, I kind of prefer Kraken over Poseidra, so that's fine by me. So yeah, they're kind of saying that Yugioh got blindsided by a maximum again, and is going to lose the maximum again. I hope that's not true, but that's kind of what they're hinting at here. I hope that maybe he's gonna be able to survive the attack and maybe then summoning Yugioh or the new Magnum Overload, something like that. That's what I hope, but they're kind of setting him up to get completely blindsided by a maximum for the third time, which is just like it's getting really annoying now, and I hope that's not the case, but obviously I'll talk about that more next week if it happens. But yeah, overall, just such a great episode. We know that Yuhi saw that duel, right, and we're gonna see kind of everything from his perspective next week, but obviously we'll see the whole duel next week as well, so I'm very excited to see what will happen. We also should be getting a big batch of summaries by the end of next week, so we'll know about 4 next episodes, what they're gonna be about. So yeah, I really liked the way that this arc started. Tell me your guys' thoughts. Do you like how this arc is beginning? Do you think something should be different? Yeah, I'll see you guys next week.